The St. Louis Blues make a perfect move as Doug Armstrong announces today they have called up their top prospects in hopes to help the offense with the struggling Blues heading into a game. Jim Montgomery gives multiple updates surrounding the team and revealing exactly where this prospect will be playing. And we're going to break down all this, including two more prospect updates that you're not going to want to miss. We're going to break down all this and so much more in this episode. And Darius, let's actually just jump straight into it. And before we get to this recall by the St. Louis Blues, I do want to touch on two prospects that are dominant. We can see in the OHL, Adam Yurchek going in 10 games, 8 points after registering 12 points in 27 games last year. What is your thoughts on the blue liner kind of taking that jump in production as he's pushing himself to look like a top offensive defenseman?
This was a big story coming into this year, and if he can stay healthy as well, because his season last year was kind of derailed a little bit. And the Brantford Bulldogs are a very interesting story. They were able to retain and get some players this offseason because they have some stability there. There's a lot of teams in the OHL and junior hockey that lost a lot of players to the NCAA overnight, essentially. So they have some stability. They've lost twice so far since the season started, and their season started in September. Keep that in mind. We're heading into November. And no regulation losses. They've only lost in overtime and one in the shootout. So he's been fantastic putting up points. They look poised to go on a long playoff run. When a team looks this good, especially early in an OHL season, you're going to go on a run. That's for sure. So we'll see what happens around the World Juniors and stuff like that too. Won't take too much time on this either, but he's looking really good.
And I mean, the second guy we're going to touch on and listen, it's an obvious name that comes up quite a bit, is Justin Carbonneau with 11 goals in 10 games in the queue. Now, Darius, the biggest thing is tied for third in scoring leaders for the queue, not playing as many games as the top guys on the list, both playing 2 games above him as well. What is your thoughts on Carbonneau looking like he's on pace to score a 60-plus goal season in the queue?
Yeah, he's not on pace. He's going to do it. Yes, he is on pace, I guess, if you want to word it that way, but he's absolutely going to do that. He's going to smash it. I think, again, this is another case of, does he actually reach what he's projected to do because of missing time for the World Juniors, right? So we'll see how that all plays out with the season. He also missed some time, obviously to start the season because he was with the Blues. So that'll be interesting to monitor as well. But this guy is going to absolutely smash everything that he's done in the past. Last season as well. Again, I don't know if he gets up to 60 games, but so far, I mean, he's been unbelievable. 15 points in 10 games. He's catching up to the goal scoring lead. He's going to be the leading goal scorer in the league, I think, when it's all said and done, with far less games played. And the other thing, too, that I think is interesting, when you look around at other prospects in other leagues, some of them are playing on teams that are not that good. They might end up getting traded around the trade deadline in January. This is a situation where the Armada are good. He could actually go on a run with this team. They are looking pretty good so far. So we'll keep close tabs on him, and I think he's going to have a really good year, but I'm looking towards, what he's going to do in the playoffs, because it looks like they could go on a deep run.
But what's your guys' thoughts on this? Who's your favorite prospects not on the Blues or in the AHL? Because this goes straight into the second topic today, where the Blues are starting to make moves on a struggling team. We've seen them come off a game last night, not playing the best. Logan Mailloux, once again, in the bottom left, there's actually a subreddit going in on every game that he appears on the bottom left of a scorecard. But the big thing with the Blues, they have been struggling to get offense going. Their goaltending, everything on the team has been struggling a bit, and this leads straight into Doug Armstrong announcing today that Dvorsky has been recalled from the Thunderbird. Now, the big thing is, we're going to break down exactly where he's playing and an update from Jim Montgomery. That is awesome to see, but we spoke on it yesterday. What is your thoughts on Dvorsky getting the call up, going straight into this lineup, and how do you think he fits into this team?
Well, I was talking yesterday that the struggles haven't necessarily been through the offense, but with some of the injuries to Jake Neighbors and Robert Thomas, it might start to become a problem. But again, I think the biggest problem has been the defense keeping the puck out of the net and the goaltending, obviously, which we'll touch on in the future. That's for sure. But calling up Dvorsky, I think, is a good move here. And we touched on it yesterday, and we were also saying, it would be interesting if they wanted to call up Stenberg for different reasons too, because of that two-way game. But when you look at Dvorsky, he's the most ready. He's the next in line. He could offer some more scoring, especially with these injuries to key players, than other guys that are in the bottom six right now that are not relied upon to put up points. This is a guy that, when he eventually is a full-time NHLer, will be relied upon to put up points, and he has been that guy in the AHL. His game is translated from the OHL to the AHL at the pro level, and obviously we saw a small sample size in 2 games last year at the NHL level, but I'm excited to see what he does in this stint, no matter how long it is. Obviously, Neighbors is out for a long time, so that'll be interesting to see how long Dvorsky stays with the big club. But I think they needed something, a spark, and this guy might be able to provide a little bit of that. Again, I do think that this team needs like a moment, like I've been saying the last couple of videos, where there's like a brawl or something like that that might, ignite something. But Dvorsky is a young, exciting player that I think can't put the puck in the back of the net. So this makes a lot of sense. Mark, you brought it up yesterday that maybe they should start looking at this, right? Like calling guys up and using that as an option, because they just need some type of spark and something to go. And they have a lot of players in the bottom six that can chip in here and there, but aren't really relied upon to score. And you're missing two really key players right now out of the lineup.
And I think the biggest thing is this is Jim Montgomery not only looking at a rookie and a prospect coming through to say, hey, we're going to give you the opportunity, run with it and stay with the team. But I think this is also him looking at the veterans on this team and saying, hey, if you're not going to perform, if you're not going to produce for us, we're going to let these young, hungry players come up through the AHL. Otto Stenberg, Dvorsky, we see these players are going to continue fighting. And listen, my big thought on this is Dvorsky's going to come in almost a point per game in the AHL, and it would not shock me if he gets into the points of playing well enough that he stays with his team full-time. Listen, there's some rumblings going around that Texier may be going on waivers, but this is a Blues team that wants to be active. Maybe they look at a trade. Maybe Lucic is a guy they try bringing in at some point, but I think this signifies that Jim is looking at the team and saying, hey, we're not going to let us kind of cakewalk through this. If it's not working, we're changing it. And the big thing is not only is he joining this lineup, Darius, but he's going straight onto the power play. Now, with the power play, the St. Louis Blues are sitting tied for 15th in the NHL at 20.7%. So they're not the worst in the league, but very average when it comes to this. Seeing Dvorsky come in and get the opportunity to play on this team, and we're going to touch on where he plays in the lineup, but I want to get your idea on this first. Where do you think this is going to be a power play 1 unit, or do you think he slides straight in on the second unit to take over for someone?
I think it's probably on the second unit. And like you just said, there are rumors, and we'll get confirmation and have another video when this happens. But it sounds like Texier might be on waivers right now. We don't know exactly what's happening or the specifics on that. But if that is the case, then obviously I think it's just power play 2. He's going to end up on power play 2. We'll see. They might play with things. The blender has been out so far this season. And you've seen in the highlights to start this video, and if you're watching Springfield, this guy can put the puck at the back of the net, right? Like, this is what he does. So I think having him on the power play makes sense. You want to put these guys in the best position possible to succeed and to help the team, right? Don't, just because he's young, don't not put him in these positions. I think this is a good move by Jim Montgomery to kind of spice things up a little bit. So to me, they could play with things. We don't know exactly what he's thinking, but I think it makes sense. Obviously, just plug him in there on power play 2, but he could end up seeing time on power play 1. And it really depends how he's going 5-on-5 when he's playing, right? If Jim Montgomery sees, okay, like he's hungry, he's taking advantage of this opportunity, then he'll get more ice time. He'll be put on power play 1. But we'll see. They're playing with a lot of stuff right now. And I think the injuries to Neighbors and Thomas really throw a lot of things out the window, and they're going to be trying things.
And I think the big thing is if he's going on the second unit for Texier here, it wouldn't surprise me if Jim just slots him straight on the third line to play next to Sundqvist and Bukestad to keep the consistency of the lineup with Texier. You would put Dvorsky in both his spots. But fans, what is your thoughts on this? Where would you put a guy like Dvorsky into this lineup? Would you put him in the top 6, middle 6, the bottom 6? Where on the power play does he play? Does he play in the top role? Or are you putting him on the second unit to hopefully get a spark down there? Let us know down in the comments. And speaking on comments, let's go straight into comments of the day. Coming from Dante, and the big thing is losing Ellis at this point is massive. And listen, we're going to do a full video on the goaltending tomorrow, so keep your eye for that. But I think with Ellis, if he ever is placed on waivers, I do expect Doug Armstrong to be the first one with the waiver claim, trying to get this guy back from Buffalo. But if things continue not to work out, we're going to do a full video, but maybe they even look at bringing in another goaltender. But leave your thoughts down in the comments. You could be featured on Comment of the Day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, so keep your eye for that. But I've been your host, Darius, with my co-host, Mark, and take care.